All right, so between Christmas and New Year's, I met this girl on TikTok. And this girl followed me. She went through and liked a whole bunch of my content in one setting. So, it caught my eye. And then when I, went to her page, she was cute. She was fine. And the very first thing I saw on her page was a video of her doing, Bible study. So I'm like, okay, not only is she cute, but she's saved, you know what I'm saying? Definitely a win-win, you know what I'm saying? And so I went through and I liked, a few of her, content postings. And next thing I know, she sends me a wave emoji in the DM. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? And me and her started talking. She told me where she lived. I told her where I lived. And we both, was made aware that we lived 8 hours away from each other. And she's like, cool, whatever. So we had a good conversation. And then shortly after that, between New Year's and January 1, for 2 days straight, I literally would notice every day in the morning, evening, noonday, whenever, I would always see her name pop up on my phone, and it was always like, so-and-so viewed your profile, so-and-so viewed your profile, so-and-so viewed your profile. So I messaged her and I was just like, yo, you don't have to, keep viewing my profile. You could just text me and say hello. And so she laughed. Next thing you know, we was on FaceTime. This was January 1. We had FaceTime, and we had such a good conversation that we both we want to meet each other. And I had told her, I was like, we should meet in Chicago. We should meet in Chicago in about 30 days or so, since that's right in the middle. And she was down for it. She was like, cool. And let me tell you, we started planning this Chicago trip we was on our way to a family reunion. It was from January 1 up until 5 days ago, me and this girl literally would talk on the phone every night from 10 o'clock to 2:30 in the morning. And I was working, I work part-time at a gym. So when I got off the gym, we knew that she would text me, she would FaceTime me. And it was just the conversations that we would have would be so organic. Every conversation was just about God. We talked about our, sexual journeys, how we both wanted to, meet somebody that was waiting, to marriage, to, be intimate. We talked about how we got saved. She talked about her Christian journey. And I started to recognize myself opening it up about stuff that I normally wouldn't open up to anybody about. And she did the same, you know what I'm saying? Our conversations would be so good. And I started to notice every night, I'm not talking about every other night. No, every night we would be on the phone till on FaceTime till 2:30 in the morning. And I remember one night, when we first met, it was a few days after we had first, FaceTime, we was on the phone 1 o'clock in the morning. We had prayed and, went to bed. Next thing I know, I'll wake up to a 5-minute voice recording of her just praying for me, just going in, and I'm like, man, and my friend Jasmine said, prayer is so intimate. So I was just like, man, it's and that's all we did. We were glued conversationally, you know what I'm saying? Because we couldn't be intimate. So we had to, build a closeness in some way. We would just always wanted to know about each other. Keep in mind, we had this trip to Chicago planned. So I'm already I gotta get my fits together, what type of content I'm gonna do. So we're planning this trip, and that's all we talked about. That was one of the things we mostly talked about, how we couldn't wait to see each other. And it was just I started to feel, because I've been in a long distance relationship before, and I started to feel myself get to that point where it was I know this is new, but I can see this going somewhere. I started to feel myself being I could see myself making that move for you. You know what I'm saying? And I know it sounds crazy. While y'all was online dragging that lady about me, and being married to a guy she met online for 30 days. Listen, I was like, come on, sis, do your thing. But listen, if you watching this, ma'am, please run. That's all I got to say. After you hear this, come on, save yourself, ma'am. But anyway, but I just enjoyed this girl. It was a girl that had matched with me on Hinge, and I was like, man, I started to see myself I don't even want nobody else. I don't want to talk to nobody else. This girl, we were I felt like we was just so strong. Just the conversations we had, we would talk all day, every day. She would send me voice messages hey, tell me everything about your day. She knew what time I got off. She knew. It just was crazy because we would literally from January 1 to 5 days ago, we would FaceTime, morning, noon, night, like while she at work, while I'm at work, we would text, like we would send each other voice messages, like we were like this. And I remember I was just like, maybe this is, we need a little break, I'm gonna pull back today. Like maybe today is the day that I chill out, because I'm a type of person where like if I'm cleaning or cooking, I don't like to be on the phone or FaceTime. I like to listen to music or have YouTube playing in the background. And I remember one day I said that to her. She's like, no, go find your headphones. Like, no, talk to me. Like we was just so like this. And I remember just feeling like, I don't know what it is about this girl, but I want her in my life. I want her in my life. Like my friend Jasmine said something that I just can't get out of my head. She said it's very rare that something that real happens so fast. And I was like, man. And that's what I was thinking. I was just like, I don't care if I got to move, if I got to pack up. Like it's something about this girl that I want more of, right? So I was believing God for the job that I have now, that God blessed me with this week. And I remember when I got the job, like the first thing she was like, we make sure you put the dates in for Chicago. Like she was so excited. She was so excited from, oh my God, like this is all we talked about. We're planning. I'm telling her like, okay, when we get there, this is the type of content I want to do with me and you, all this stuff. Everything like just felt so real and so right up until about 5 days ago. Sunday of this past week, she texted me like, because I posted a video of me playing the keyboard at church or whatever. She's like, oh, you look so handsome, you look so good. I'm like, yeah, we talked. Sunday was fine. So Monday evening, she literally texted me and was like, are you going to be up for a while? And I was like, yeah. I was like, why? She was like, because I'm going to call you later. And I was like, okay, cool. And I never got a call. Never got that call. Got that call. So Tuesday rolls around and me and her like did not talk at all. But I was cool because I kind of felt like, from January 1 to like, what was it, the 18th, 19th or whatever, we talked and FaceTime every day, like all day. So I'm like, maybe we need this break. I don't know. Wednesday rolls around and I hadn't heard from her. So like 2 o'clock in the afternoon rolls around and I text her like, hey, what's going on? Nothing. Hours went by. So I text her again and I was like, hey, I miss you. And because that's how we talked. That's how we was with each other. And I got no message. And I had sent her a voice message that day, like, yo, this is not like us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know 2 days that went by. Let me know you good. And even if you're not good, let me know that too. I'm just concerned at this point. So hours went by. She sends me a very corporate message. I mean, I thought I was talking to corporate Aaron. And the message literally said, hey, Mark, thanks for reaching out. Sorry for the delay, but I'm not feeling well. I will hit you up when I'm better. And immediately I'm like, you can't cough and text? Like, you can't, like, I haven't heard from you in 2 days. Like, so I hit her back and I was like, okay, cool, get well soon. That was the last I heard from her. That was literally the last I heard from her. And I was just like, I didn't expect for her to be on FaceTime, sneezing and all that stuff, but just like, just checking in, like, let me know you good, whatever. So Saturday rolls around and I get on TikTok and she's like reposting videos on TikTok, reposting videos and all of that. And I'm like, and I knew something was different. I was like, this is crazy. Like something ain't right. Something ain't right. I'm like, I haven't heard from you in 5 days, but you on TikTok, you're on social media. And it was just kept coming like all down my timeline. So-and-so reposted this, so-and-so reposted. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? And I'm like, you can't text me to like check in. I'm like, so I knew something was different and still have not heard from this girl since. Like, I'm so in shock. Sunday at church, I just was so checked out. Like all throughout the sermon, I'm just like, what happened? Like, and I was telling my friend Jasmine about it. And I was just like, there are 2 sides to every story. But I was just like, I don't even know what her side would even sound like because I don't even know what happened. Like there were no signs, there were no red. I'm like, yo, what is going on? It didn't dawn on me until today that literally last week I prayed a prayer and it's like, Lord, I really like this girl. I think she's fine. She loves you. Like, Lord, if this is who you have for me, please make it known. Please confirm it. And I remember saying, but Lord, if it is not, I want you to cut her off quickly. And I guess that's what he did. I promise you, I guess that's what he did. But yeah, guard your heart this year. Guard your heart and beware of the counterfeits.